So just when you thought KSI and Logan Paul were done with Prime, we now have a collab with MrBeast. You know what I love about the current generation of YouTubers? No matter how much money they make, it never seems to be enough. It never seems to fill their pockets. And MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul have all came together to create a new product that every single child is going to consume. And that is Lunchly. Now, if you look at Lunchly and you look at Lunchables, which is like one of the world's biggest snack foods in the world, full of processed garbage, they look pretty similar. It's almost like they stole Lunchables and then swapped some of the letters around. It's kind of like in Harry Potter when Tom Riddle revealed to Harry that he was Lord Voldemort by swapping all the letters around. Now, if you don't know what Lunchables are, shut up. Shut up. I'm not explaining what Lunchables are. So, brave statement incoming. Lunchables aren't very healthy. I kind of get it. You know, it's food for kids. But why is Lunchly competing against Lunchables? Because again, keep in mind, Lunchables owns that. They've got like an 84% ownership of the kids market. That's in combination lunches. I think that's basically the only thing that Lunchables do. But that's where we introduced Logan Paul, KSI, and MrBeast. They all got together and thought, oh my God, we don't have enough money. We only cleared 20 mil the last month. Let's make a new product that kids can eat. So in terms of Lunchly, they're keeping the release of this quite short. They're releasing 3 products: Fiesta Nachos, Turkey Stack'ems, and then one straight up called The Pizza. Amazing names. Also, keep in mind as well, if you're reading between the lines, you'll see that words like the pizza are in quotation marks, almost like it's some kind of like trademark issue, or they can't legally call it a pizza. But again, these are products that already exist on Lunchables line. They've already got the pizza one, the nachos one, turkey and cheese crackers. These are all flavors that already exist with Lunchables, so they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're basically trying to leech off an already incredibly successful product. Now, the main difference between the contents that's inside is you get also a Feastables chocolate bar and a bottle of Prime Energy. You had this photo that was released of MrBeast, Logan, and KSI. The weird thing is about this as well, like these 3 YouTubers specialize in making products that kids eat and drink that are snacks, right? Like treats. They've never really done actual food before. I mean, MrBeast has had MrBeast Burger, but obviously, as we know, that didn't end too well. Also, the prices for these Lunchlys go around $4, but for actual Lunchables, it goes from like $1.90 all the way to just over $3. Now, I'm not going to avoid the elephant in the room. This is obviously a collab that is mutually beneficial to all parties. Basically, they revealed this on a live stream, which is exactly what Logan and KSI did years ago when they baited everyone out, being like, oh, this is it, the final round. We're gonna beat each other up, only to find out that they were basically doing a collab, because what ends hostility more than friendship? Money. Now, I'm saying this is mutually beneficial because both parties at the minute, that being Logan Paul, KSI, and then MrBeast, they've both been in their own kind of like hot water recently. So obviously Prime was talked about for apparently having a lot of harmful chemicals inside, possibly stealing the Olympics branding as well, issues with the boxing manufacturer, and also as well the lawsuits involved with the owners. KSI has been doing a pretty good job keeping his head down, to be fair, but Logan Paul has been involved in various lawsuits, like the whole, you know, crypto zoo thing with CoffeeZilla. And the most damaging thing that is worse than everything I've just said combined, Prime sales have been through the floor. I mean, possible game theories that are floating around at the minute is, for example, Logan Paul is basically trying to make as much money as possible and then maybe semi-quietly retire, kind of almost do what PewDiePie did, because if you look at his Instagram page, his missus, she very pregnant. And I can't talk about Prime without talking about the controversy that Feastables has been involved in as well. Like, for example, the allegations against MrBeast and his company from Dogpack. MrBeast hasn't really said anything. He's basically just locked in, gone full content brain. He apparently has said to multiple sources, one of them being Ludwig, he is planning on responding when Dogpack drops all of his videos. But I think the problem is now we're kind of in like a limbo because Dogpack is like, ooh, there's more, but like, I'm not going to put it out, but I might not. So MrBeast doesn't really know what to do here. It's just like an infinite stalemate, but he's not letting the channel go quietly. I mean, a good example of Feastables getting into some trouble is Feastables was actually going to sponsor one of Ludwig's streamer events. He did this thing like the streamer games, basically kind of like the Olympics, but for streamers. And Ludwig straight up said to MrBeast, like, Feastables cannot sponsor this event. Keep in mind though, as well, MrBeast's views have not gone down. Like usually when a YouTuber gets into controversy or something, the fan base will slowly drop them. But because MrBeast is just like galaxy-sized there'll always be new people that find the channel. The main reason why Ludwig dropped the Feastable sponsorship is, I think, because he was worried that the drama around having a Feastable sponsor would basically overshadow the entirety of the streamer games. And keep in mind as well, Ludwig and MrBeast are like really good friends. Now, when they announced the launch of Lunchly on a live stream, one thing happened I wasn't expecting. They got a guest appearance from the Rizzler. Now, one thing that's interesting looking into Lunchly is they are trying to advertise themselves as being better to Lunchables. I think as well, they're playing on the fact that Lunchables actually had some boxes recalled because of like concerning levels of sodium. So obviously they're going to try and do what they did with Prime and Feastables. They're going to try and make something a little bit healthier. A little bit, not a lot, because then the taste goes away. A little bit healthier. Now, the big appeal of Lunchly is having flavorful combos, more electrolytes. So Logan Paul was quick to tweet saying how much better Lunchly is than Lunchables. Again, he's turned off replies. So you've got Lunchly pizza and then Lunchables. The Lunchables actually has 1 more gram of protein. Unlucky. There's like 30 less calories in the Lunchly, which is like if you take a nibble of a bit of cheese or like a Baby Bell. The electrolytes, again, obviously because there's Prime in it as well. Unless you're working out or you're hungover, you don't need electrolytes. And then as well, the sugar is basically half the sugar. The thing is, what I don't understand is they're starting off with the protein, but the protein is like the weakest amount. It's like the protein they've got for the turkey one is exactly the same. And then they beat the Lunchables protein by 2 grams. 9 grams of protein. Don't even bother listing it. That sucks. Now, one thing they're not actually including here is like the salt content either, which is a little bit weird. But yeah, honestly, the sugar, they've got Lunchables beat. It's usually about half the sugar. The protein is just comedically bad. The calories are basically no different at all. They basically shaved off 50 calories somehow. So you've got this comparison here with Lunchly and then Lunchables, but they can't call it Lunchables. They call it leading brand. Flavorful combos. Standard picks. 400 milligrams of electrolytes. 55 milligrams. Bold packaging. Basic packaging. Big gestures. Mid moments. Now, obviously, at the end, they're not even using any statistics of like nutrition. They're just making shit up. So that's one of the main reasons why they couldn't call it Lunchables when they were talking shit about them. So Logan is really trying to like assert how this is a much more healthier option than Lunchables. Is it really? No, it's like marginally more healthy. Not really. People also looked into the Lunchly website because again, it's like 3 of the most honest YouTubers you could ever meet. Like they wouldn't have any weird clauses. Oh, wait, look. If you eat any Lunchly product, you then automatically lose your rights to a class action lawsuit. Surprisingly, there were a lot of YouTubers that weren't happy with Lunchly, and I'm not just talking about commentary channels, like people from other aspects of the internet, like for example, Dan TDM. Surprisingly, Dan did actually clap with a tweet that got like 200,000 likes. What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better. And I totally agree with Dan. It really just feels like a cash grab to make as much money as possible. You even had some YouTubers and Twitch streamers reply to Dan's tweet, one of them saying they always promoted like it's healthy food too, lol. And then Ballistic Squid said, why not teach kids healthy eating habits? They're comparing their product to Lunchables, which in itself is highly processed crap. None of them are passionate about health towards fans, only their wallets. So disappointing. This is Future Pyro here. Remember that Dan TDM tweet that was made? It's now sitting on 250,000 likes. This hurt Logan's ego. Logan ended up quote tweeting Dan while also having replies turned off with the most like, he could have debased anything that Dan said, but instead he says, I'll tell you what happened to YouTubers. We spent our lives creating content and building our brands. Now we want to build businesses. So you've basically admitted there that you don't actually want to create content anymore. You just want to create businesses, therefore making more money. I mean, honestly, that's about as shallow as him probably saying, I'm trying to feed the homeless or something with Lunchlies. And then he finishes it off with the most like Jafar from Aladdin statement ever. Why didn't you say anything when Lunchables faces bans for allegedly containing lead? But when we create a better version, you're upset, then don't eat it. So he has done like 3 things you never do there as a YouTuber. First of all, he made a claim and then basically debased himself by saying allegedly afterwards, meaning it has no weight. So you can tell, even though he's trying to snide, like he's still in PR mode thinking, okay, I cannot get sued. I cannot get sued. I'm being sued by... Prime is being sued from a lot of angles here. I don't also want to get sued by Lunchables. And then he also accuses Dan of not caring when Lunchables had traces of lead, allegedly. And it's like, yeah, no shit he doesn't care because it's not created by a YouTuber. The reason why you're getting flack from other YouTubers is because you're making us all all look bad. This is like some like cash cow thing to make as much money as possible. And then he finishes it off with the equivalent of don't like it, don't watch it, saying to not eat Lunchables.